The title of today's message, Rest Up. Okay? We need rest. Okay? How many of you love sleeping in? This guy right here. We all love snoozing, hitting the snooze button on the alarm, extra 2-3 minutes. I will literally, because I wake up so early for work, if I'm 2 minutes before my alarm, just how if you're late, you jump out of bed real fast, I will jump back real fast in like 2 minutes. They say if you do that or if you snooze, you're actually more tired from trying to get a couple more minutes of sleep than if you were to just wake up, scientifically speaking. So, I got a few fun facts for you. How many of y'all like fun facts? We're going to talk about sleep and rest. Some of these you may know, some of these you may not know. Okay? Did you know that being awake for 16 hours straight, fellas, or even ladies, how many of y'all pulled a 16-hour shift? Yeah. Being awake for 16 hours straight decreases your performance as much as if your blood alcohol level were 0.05. The legal limit is 0.08. Up for a while. In the 17th century, this would probably be my job. In the 17th century, getting up in the middle of the night, oh, my bad, wrong one. Getting up in the middle of the night was normal. And you would have a period of time where you were just up and then you went back to sleep. It was in 2 segments divided by an hour or 2 of alertness, time for reading, praying, intimacy, or socializing with others. And they would go back to sleep. Did not know that. Going without sleep is likely to make you hungry as levels of leptin, an appetite-regulating hormone, fall. One job in early English mill and factory towns was to knock on people's windows and to wake them up for work. That would be my job. I like to tease people. I can't help it. I'm a little mischievous. I love messing with people, but in a good, clean, fun way. I like to poke the bear, but then run away from the bear. But we used to play this game. It wasn't really called the nicest of things, but you would knock on somebody's window or front door and then take off running. And so they'd come out and be hollering, and you could hide in the bush or you could keep running, but somehow it was just fun. But that sounds interesting. That's a heavy sleeper. I'm a heavy sleeper. If I've got enough rest, you could probably say something and I would wake up. But you almost have to touch my physical body to get me to wake up. I have an alarm clock at home that is a sonic boom alarm clock that I got from eBay. It shoots off lights everywhere in the room. It is really loud, and it has a cord that goes right up under my pillow with a big circle this big, and it vibrates. And it shakes the back of my head. And it is so annoying. I have the perfect reach because my bed's here, and I reach up to my tall dresser and hit it every time. And even sometimes that don't do the job. Sleeping on the job is less of a problem in Japan. Companies may accept it as a sign of exhaustion from work. Here they would fire you. But over there, I guess they have more understanding. Some car rental contracts make you promise not to drive on fewer than 6 hours of sleep. Well, how would they know that here? They don't. But they're serious about it. Insomnia is often a normal part of grieving. Taking sleeping pills can disrupt this natural process. And you got regular exercise usually improves your sleep patterns. I mean, you would think, right? I'm tired. It'd be easy to go to bed. I'm worn out. But strenuous exercise right before bed may keep you awake. That's the only free time I get during this health journey, which, by the way, food is good. And I've been cheating. But I still feel decent. I just try to wear big shirts where it seems, like you didn't mess with me. Today, 75% of us dream in color. Before color television, just 15% of us did. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. And then the last one, which is super Captain Obvious, one of our biggest sleep distractions is 24-hour internet access. Right on that phone. Because I sit there and I'm like, yup, laying in bed, scrolling, and I'm like, yo, it's been 2 hours. Like, I'm not going to get much sleep now. And, it's just something we do to pass the time. And you ever been there? You've been laying in bed. Pop sockets help me with this. Y'all know what a pop socket is? Right? And it grips right here and it keeps it from falling on your face. But man, it'll fall on my chest and wake me up if I doze off, or it'll fall on my face and I'm like, oh, you make the ugly face, keep it from hitting you in the teeth or whatever. But those are just some random facts about sleep. I think Jesus prioritized sleep pretty well, wouldn't you say? So, are you there with me in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28? Here we go. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you," there's our word, "rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart. And you will find rest," there's our word again, "rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Okay? He just sent out the disciples. Now they're going, they're healing the sick, they're casting out demons. And he has this time alone because he sent them out. And he goes, and once again, he's right in front of the Pharisees and everyone. And John's disciple, what's happening right here is he has this time alone, and John's disciples come, and John's like, "Are you really the Messiah?" And he's like, "Yes, go and tell John what you see." And then it makes him think, after his disciples left to report back to John, and he starts asking the Pharisees, what do you think about John? He's a man of God. Why are you calling him this and calling him that? And he starts talking to the Pharisees and preaching again. And he's talking to anyone who will receive the message. He's trying to call them all home, the lost sheep of Israel, right? And he's telling them, he's like, "Come to me." Okay, this is their altar call invitation right here. "Come to me, all you who labor." Okay, look, it's probably been a tired work week for you this week. Okay, or mentally, or stress, or whatever it's been that's been weighing you down. Okay, as Pastor George mentioned earlier, look, we're all going through something. Okay, some worse than others. But whatever you need, you don't have to wait till Sundays, right? It's a good place to do it, or on a Wednesday night. But every single day you have access to Jesus. Okay, this is not a Sunday, Wednesday thing. You ain't got to wait. You have access to him every single hour of the day. And that's the good part. Amen? I mean, it is so simple. 3 words. Come to me. Whether you're mad, whether you're sad, you're stressed out, work's been just doo-doo, or even, look, if you're happy and you're joyous, you bring them your praise. You bring them the good reports. You bring them the prayers. You bring them everything. Okay? Jesus doesn't want the good parts only or the bad parts only. There's a lot of people like that. Okay? And in the prosperity seasons, they don't even know who Jesus is. They only go to Jesus when something's wrong. And if that was you in my life, I would have a hard time of thinking like you actually wanted me. Like if I had a kid and they only came as they wanted money. It's like, do you know me? Or do you just know that I can give you stuff? Okay? Or do you just call me when you need help? Why can't I be with you in your good times? It doesn't really make the person you're approaching feel special. Okay? And so for us, Jesus wants our whole life. Like he wants to be invited in. He invites us. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden. Look, it gets heavy. Okay? It gets heavy. And here's my example of it getting heavy. Pastor George, I need your help. Because I don't know how heavy this is because he carried it earlier. Okay? Sir, please stand on the stage. Exhibit A. Woo. All right. So, I'm almost hitting up there. No, I could barely carry this. Jesus says for us to pick up our cross daily, right? We die daily. Okay? Sometimes this cross gets too heavy. This is literally physically heavy. Okay? Hold this for me. All right? Now bring it back to me. Sometimes it may look like you got it all. Okay? Here, let me do this. You got it all. And you're walking through life. You're like, I got this. Me and Jesus. Here we go. Or you're just rolling. You're on a roll. And then sometimes it's like, okay, let me brace myself. You know, couple bumps in the road, no big deal. Still praying, still seeking God. That's where the strength is, right? And then all of a sudden things just keep piling on. And you use the locks in your arms and your shoulders and you're like, okay, all right. Still got this, Lord. And that's good. That's where you want to be. Okay? He's your strength. And whether you have a lot of strength or little strength, embrace the cross. Embrace Him. Okay? And then sometimes it's like I'm barely making it. And it's about to crash down. When all you're doing is clinging. And then it's like this. And then it winds up, it's just like, I can't do this anymore. It's too heavy. This load is too heavy. Why did this have to happen, God? And you get in the blame game. And then you're like, I don't need this. It doesn't make sense. It's not fair. And some people contemplate walking away. They're like, it's too heavy. I can't do this. But when you invite Jesus in, He wants you to come to Him. What do you think is the heavy part of this cross? I would say this in, because you got another beam. Take that in. Walk over there. All right, now let's slip it over our necks. Okay? He has the heavy end. I literally feel like this is nothing. Okay? When He says, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. The yoke, back in Bible days, was oxen that plowed the ground. They would set this across two of them. They'd have to work together in tandem, togetherness. And they'd have a cord around their neck because if they just took off, it would fall. But it was like a strap system. And they would walk together. If they were out of balance, out of sort, or if the stronger oxen were to try to go ahead, they would just spin in circles. But they go down the path, back down the path, until the field is plowed. Okay? And so, Jesus says, my burden is light. He gives me the light end. So many of us, we're holding on to the heavy end. We're holding on to all of it. And if Jesus is like, yo, like if there's a big power lifter in here, okay, like Pastor George, because he's been losing weight and getting into shape, right? I know he can handle it. But I also know what only I can handle. I can only handle a little bit, the light end of the load, right? And we walk together. Amen. Thank you, Pastor George. I appreciate you. Y'all give him a hand. That's good. I'm going to have y'all clapping all day. But he says, take my yoke upon you. If you're doing it all by yourself, you got the whole weight of that yoke just pushing you down and bearing you down. For I am gentle and lowly in heart. You'll find rest for your souls. With the light end of that cross right there, I have a chance to breathe. I have a chance to recoup and regain my strength. So what does that look like in our everyday lives? What does it look like to be refreshed and just kind of rejuvenated? Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25. Proverbs 11:25. Okay, it says, "The generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be watered himself." New Living Translation says, "He who refreshes others," because water's refreshing, right? "He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." Did you know that we need refreshing as your pastors? We're watering, right? The word says some plant, some water, God gets the increase. Even we grow tired. We need our moments with the Lord. Everyone needs their moments with the Lord. So I'm asking you, what is your moment where you get refreshed? What is the moment where you get more water poured into your pitcher? What does that look like to you? Do you even know what that is? You're like, oh, I just come to church. Well, this is but a couple droplets. Did you know that your main source of your refreshment and your nutrients concerned in the kingdom is in your personal relationship outside this building? We prepare you for the work of the saints. This is the equipping. We give you what you need, and then you go do it. Now, your tank's going to run low, but guess what? You come back to the gas station. It could be here. It could be in your prayer closet at home. But every single person needs a moment to rest. Even if you're an evangelist or on the front lines in missions across the world, everybody will at some point need a re-strengthening. Okay? You may be going and praying over people and just talking to everybody you know about Jesus. Okay? But guess what? You'll run low. And you need a refilling. We talked about it with the youth this week. If you have nothing in your glass to pour, what can you give somebody? Okay, if you're not actively building your prayer life, how are you going to pray for somebody? You got to add to your cup. And in these moments when we need rest, when our cup seems empty, in the rest comes your filling. We do soaking prayer in here, first Thursday night of each month. And everybody who comes can tell you how sweet and how special it is. It's wonderful. It's the time where we be quiet and we let God do whatever He needs to do. There's prayer. There's acknowledgement. You praise God for who He is. You thank Him for who He is. Okay? And then there's the confessing. They're like, Lord, telling Him what you need, your daily bread, okay? Forgiving us as we forgive others, okay? Lead us not into temptation. And so there's all these things to pray, but there's also a time to just be still and know He's God. There's time to be still and to be quiet. And in the stillness, okay, it's where you hear Him. Because if we were sitting here, and if I'm trying to talk and you're over talking me and I'm over talking you, you're not hearing anything I'm saying. You're not hearing anything, I'm not hearing anything you're saying. We're just talking over each other. And so there's a time for you to speak in prayer and there's a time for you to listen in prayer, okay? And so you just stop everything, okay? Shut this off, airplane mode, whatever. Shut this off, toss it on the bed, go get in the corner of the room or in the closet, okay? Ken put it very accurately this morning when I was in the men's for a little bit. He said, we need the secret place. So what's your secret place? Mine, I love being in my room. I turn the light off because if I can see anything in the room, I'll start thinking about whatever I see. turn the light off, or I don't see anything, or I don't hear anything, and I just get on the floor, or I'll just back into like the 2-wall corner, and I'll just like lean back against the wall. Some of you, it may be on your front porch, watching cars go by. You really get peace from that. You really feel God's presence in that. Front porch, back porch, taking a walk and seeing the sunset in the evening. Wherever you feel God, wherever your special place is with God, that's your secret place, okay? And you can have it with your husband and wife, but you need your alone time, like your time, okay? There's times when you pray with your wife and you worship with your wife or your husband, but there's individual time, you and Jesus alone, okay? Find that place. Because in that place, you get your replenishment. You get your re-strengthening. And so when we were talking about like actual sleep fun facts earlier, I was talking to my buddy, and he's kind of been coaching me up at work and helping me because he's a personal trainer. And he was like, bro, rest is so important. If you're working out, like you need sleep. And I was like, well, I don't allow myself sleep. I wake up early and, just doing this, doing that. I'm a goer. I cannot help it. I like to go. I love to bounce around. I have 111,000 miles on my truck in the first 3 years. Okay? I go. Okay? I'm probably the most out there person you might ever meet. Okay? I do this. I do that. I can't help it. And so some days it'll kind of weigh on me. I'm like, I need to slow down. I need to stop. And so I'll sit at home and I'll be like, man, I feel like I'm just wasting my day. I'm not doing anything. And so I get caught in this middle ground where I'm like, I don't want to waste my day, but just sitting here. But then like, I need to slow down. It's like, do I limit what I'm doing? Do I just, I don't know. But there's things in our life that can occupy our attention, and you'll feel in your spirit something's wrong or something's different or something shifted. And really, it's Jesus calling out to you. Right? If you're ever not spending your time with the Lord, you should know and you should feel it. Life should not go on as normal, because if you're a Christian, that's not normal. Okay, imagine not spending time with your wife. You see her like twice a week for hold on. We'll do this. We throw up a 5-minute prayer every single day, right? When you pray. Imagine only talking to your spouse for 5 minutes a day every day. Wouldn't be that good of a relationship, right? And so for me, the only way I know how to relate is I'll feel my spirit crying out towards God. I'm like, I need prayer time. I need to read my Bible. I need alone time, because that's where my nourishment comes from. It's like my soul's hungry, and I need that time with Him, right? Even if it's physical people here in the room, where they say time apart makes the heart grow fonder. If you are, you forget to read or pray that day, it should make you miss Him even more, to dive back into His presence, right? And we need that time. And so what I want to do now is, for a few minutes, Lucy, will you hit the lights for me and turn on these lights right here? The most important thing you can do during your week or your day is just to stop. Throw the brakes on. Stop everything. You can go ahead and play it. And just to be still. Okay? God can catch you wherever you're at, okay? But why make Him run, right? So what I want us to do, hit that backlight for me too. Pretend this is a Thursday night, okay? You're going to get a little bit of soaking from what we do. So what I want you to do is, everybody close your eyes. There's no lyrics in this song. You might recognize the song, but it's not meant for you to sing along to. It's meant for you to just focus on God. And that's exactly what I want you to do right now. This is the rest your soul needs. This is the stopping point and the replenishment for you that you need. I don't know if this is lacking. I don't know if this is something you regularly do. But we're going to be quiet for a few minutes and just put all your heart and soul on Jesus. Isn't it soothing? It's refreshing. That was 3 minutes. 3 minutes sometimes never felt so long. But it doesn't seem long if you want to be there. We need to practice getting lost with God. I know you may be a parent. I know you got kids. I know that you have things to tend to, maybe, dinner cooking or evening duties or whatever it may be. But at least for a little bit, kind of examine your schedule. See where you can make these moments. God speaks in a still small voice, but how can you hear the still small voice if you're running all over the place and you're the one talking, and as soon as you get done talking, giving God your laundry list, you bolt out? Oftentimes in a soaking prayer, we do it for about 45, 50 minutes, and then we turn back on the lights, and anything that God may have shown us, what God may have spoke to us, a lot of times it lines up with each other. And we can almost piece together this picture that God may be showing us individually or for the church. over the people in that room. We have to stop. And just spend time with them. You have those awesome moments with your spouse where it's just you two and you're not worried about anything else and you're enjoying the moment. I want you to enjoy these moments with Jesus. A lot of times people will say, I feel so peaceful after coming out of a prayer like that. Well, what do you think happened? He literally gave you your replenishment, your spiritual nutrients. Okay, like let it bake, let it broil for a bit. Not fast food. Lucy, you can hit the backlight. Slow cooking, the best cooking. These times are so special. Sometimes words, you can't even come up with the words. You're just refreshed. You need these times of rest, and plenty of rest, just like our physical bodies would need. You need spiritual rest. Okay? And so I'm going to ask you, good sir, good ma'am, do you know Jesus? This is the altar call right here, because you ultimately cannot have rest in your heart or in your soul until you have Jesus. The first three words he says in that scripture, come to me. So anyone who does not know Jesus in this room, first thing you got to do is go to him. It's easy. And it's worth it. Because what you may be lacking now, he supplies. You can't find it in any other person. Can't find it anywhere in this world, just like that lawyer. He's searching for the answer. He's searching for the answer. No matter where he searched and looked, he couldn't find the answer. Our answer is Jesus. Have you found him? Have you been wayward? Have you not had your time with him? Go back. If you feel like you just fell way off the rails, go back. Jesus says in the book of Revelation, go back to the first works or the first fruits. Okay? Remember that cross. Remember what he did. Remember what he did in your life. You look back at pictures of your wedding day and it brings you to tears. You look back at all the past birthdays and everything and it's nostalgic and you're just crying. We're looking forward, moving forward with Jesus, but whenever you look back at how he first came into your life, it's just, ooh. You always need to remember what he's done for you